Hey, my name is Sarah and welcome back to another episode of Talking Fast. Alongside me, just like every single week, is manager Jacob. And Jacob, we are not in the studio. We're not sitting on my couch.
We got natural sunlight. We're sitting at a nice high top table.
Nice, beautiful wood.
We're on a little Talking Fast field trip.
We are on a field trip.
Here.
That's a great way to describe it. We are at A&W. We are at the College and Ossington location in Toronto.
Slowly become best friends with A&W.
Yeah, slowly.
I'm stoked to be here.
It's been the long game. I've been planting the seeds since I was like 15 somehow.
I feel like we talk about this a lot, but we're good at manifesting on the podcast. And
we're very good at it.
Potentially doing a live podcast taping like this.
I think I said add an A&W too. So like it's actually worked out perfectly. Yeah. So this episode is brought to you by A&W. That's why we are sitting in an A&W, but also it's just like actually kind of a beautiful location. And this natural sunlight is really hitting me.
I feel like we maybe do the opening segment here and then maybe take 15, 20 just to hit some selfies or something like that. We got some good natural light.
Yeah. And we got coffee, which kicks us off with what are we eating and drinking this week, Jacob?
Okay, well, we got hooked up. I got just a drip black coffee.
A Pret.
A Pret, yes, exactly. I know.
Have you had Pret before? Did you have it when you went to London?
Question. I did have it when I went to London last year.
I feel like you can't not have Pret when you go to London.
It's all over the place and delicious. I'm happy to be. We're also recording in the morning, so I'm happy to be drinking coffee here at A&W, and it tastes delicious. Sarah, what do you got?
Okay, so I got the iced latte, but this is okay. So this is Le Brew Bar.
Okay.
The Brew Bar. Okay, these are actually low key such a slight. Okay, so
it looks like small ice.
No, yeah, it's little pebbled ice. The best.
You know you're elite when you have the small ice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So okay, so the story about how I discovered that A&W had Slay iced coffee is when I get off a plane in Nova Scotia to drive to my cottage. The only restaurant from the airport to my cottage that will be open once I land, because like it's always
also
like
the only restaurant you need.
Yes, that too. But it's A&W, so whether it's like early in the morning or whatever, and usually when I get off a plane I do want like a coffee just because I'm like dying, and it's like a 2-hour drive normally.
Also love a travel ritual.
Yeah, and so I always go to A&W, and so that's how I discovered they had really good iced coffee, which was just kind of random. I had no idea, and now on my walks to work I'll grab it too, which is the best. But this is really good.
I've hit that a few times too on like morning drives up to the cottage. Low-key breakfast slaps as well.
Not even low key. When I used to work, I'm looking at a sign right now for the bacon and egger and small coffee. When I used to work at okay, so this is a long story, but not a long story short. I used to work at like 2 a.m. doing ski racing in like the ski racing was happening in Switzerland, and I had to like run the broadcast of it, like the live streams. And this was like my first like real job at CBC. And so I would be up at like, I'd have to be up at like 1 a.m., get there for like 3, whatever. And then when you finish your shift, it was 5 a.m. And the only place that was open was the John Street A&W. And we would always go for breakfast, me and my host. We'd like, so she actually, it's so cute.
A&W for you in your life, I'm realizing, is like
it's literally
like the boyfriend who's always been there for you.
No, but I actually like not even low key, high key. So then I would go and eat the breakfast there. Cause like also I was in university at the time, so I could afford it. And so I would go to eat the breakfast there every single morning.
I have a really hot take. I discovered this as well. I think there's a hash brown war as well.
You've talked about this before.
Listen, I understand that we're doing a sponsored podcast here in A&W. I would say this to anyone. I have said this to everyone that I know. The hash brown is the best hash brown available.
Everyone that I talk to also loves the breakfast the best.
Yeah.
Like it's one of those things. It's like, if you know, you know, like I feel like not enough people
realize. We're putting
realize.
on the Talking Fast audience right now. Sales are just skyrocketing.
They better be. They better be. Okay, so that's what we're drinking. Jacob, what are you watching or reading this week?
Okay, I have to atone for some poor words that I spoke about this show.
Oh.
And it might actually come out on an episode that comes out after this one. I think it might. I said some bad things about White Lotus.
You did say bad things about Lotus. You said it was boring.
I said it was boring. I said I wasn't going to watch any more episodes of season 1. I finished season 1, and last night I actually finished season 2. Season 2, White Lotus, better than season 1, I would say.
Okay. I agree. I told you that, I'm pretty sure.
I did. Yeah, you did say that because you watched the second season and went back. Yes. I did call who ended up dying. Spoiler alert. I'm not going to say.
Well, it is a murder. Like someone died. It's not a spoiler that somebody dies. Somebody dies every
and they
single
set that up in the first episode. So, yeah, no spoilers. I hated it still while watching it, but like I was hooked So how can you hate it?
So I think I have a love-hate relationship with White Lotus. I feel the same. I think you're expecting it to be more like clever in how it happens.
I also want to like yell at the characters while I'm watching.
Yeah, they're all kind of insufferable.
Oh God, I'm just like honest. Just someone be honest for a second, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know. What are you watching this week or reading?
Okay, so I watched the musical of Moulin Rouge. And I didn't know it was based off the movie. Like, I didn't know what came first, chicken or the egg situation, you know what I mean?
It's one of those,
and so I didn't know it was a jukebox musical, but then I had also never seen the movie. So then I watched the movie this week after I saw the musical because I love the musical so much.
Okay, and did they throw in, sometimes they change the music
so
as
they
well.
make, because for those that don't know, Moulin Rouge, Baz Luhrmann, early 2000s, Nicole Kidman, Ewan McGregor, question mark.
Yeah.
And it's like amazing. So like massively like theatrical and just like so much to look at. And it's almost like overstimulating how much happens. But the musical was also amazing. I got to go see it at Mirvish. So they keep Roxanne, but like they update a bunch of the songs to make them more modern songs. Like they have Bad Romance by Lady Gaga in it and stuff.
I actually saw it in Boston earlier this year.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
that's
really
kind of random.
I know, it was random.
Theater
it's
scene in
Haley's,
Boston.
Favorite. It's her favorite, maybe
movie?
her favorite movie. One of her favorite movies for
learned,
sure.
So I was talking to a friend at a university reunion last week, and he was telling me that like he loves Moulin Rouge so much, and I was like, I feel like it's one of those things that's like if you're a fan, you're like a diehard fan of Moulin Rouge. And
so wait, I blacked out for a second. Did you say you watched the movie before? You had seen the movie?
No, I'd never seen the movie. I went to the musical not knowing anything about it, and then I watched the movie after.
That's almost better then, because Haley, huge fan of the movie, and then went and saw the live show.
But then you're comparing it.
And they changed some
a
of the
lot,
songs,
yeah.
and she's sitting there like, oh, this song's coming up, and then it was like a Lady Gaga song, which I understand and I like and I appreciate that, like you can change it, and jukebox musical, it makes sense. But yeah, you probably did it the right way.
Yeah, I think I did.
Sarah, what are you listening to this week?
Okay, so I have never done this before in my life, but my friends and I were talking, and I didn't know this is a thing people do. Did you know that people listen to movie scores while they work?
I've done that in the past. I'll listen to like the Interstellar scores.
Okay,
like that.
Interstellar is really popular. The Social Network one is really popular.
Ooh, that's a little too sad for me.
I didn't know this, but like my friend was staying with us, like they were just talking, and they were talking about like what movie scores they listen to while working, and I went, I'm sorry, what are you talking about? Like I just listen to Taylor Swift while I'm working, and then they're like, how do you do that? Because the lyrics are distracting. Like if they're typing something,
that's what I was gonna say. Is that I can't have a movie score with like lyrics in it.
So I've always been able. That's the whole point. But I've always been able to like get around it. Like I've never thought of it. So then this week I was like, do you know what? I'm gonna be one of these cultured people and listen to a movie score.
What did you go with?
Little Women, obviously.
Oh, is it?
And it's so like whimsical and so like.
I still haven't watched it. So like, yeah, describe.
It's like the 1800s, so it's like whimsical and very
a lot of like pan flute.
Yeah, and like if I'm gonna listen to the Pride and Prejudice one too, like all the ones that I like. I don't know, but then I was almost getting distracted.
Did it change your work at all? Did you go like you start writing like,
okay,
hey ye old sir?
Okay, that's not how they spoke in the 1800s. No, but I will say I tried listening to The Social Network. And it makes you go like,
yeah, and like, then it gets to the song "Hand Covers Bruise" off of that album.
That's crazy that you know this.
And then I would just start. If I would listen to that, my
anyways, I think everyone should test it out. Maybe if you're a university student, you're studying or something. Because I wish I had known this in university. Apparently, everyone else was doing it and I wasn't. But I'm going to start listening to movie scores. What?
The Wicked soundtrack.
I am listening to that too. Okay, what about you? What are you listening to? Is it the Wicked soundtrack?
No, not today. But although I have been listening to that quite a lot. I am gonna throw. I think this is in the last maybe 6 episodes. This will be the third mention of Suki Waterhouse.
Oh my god.
I didn't know. I slept on a single that dropped.
You're a sucker for Suki.
Called "Pushing Daisies." I didn't know that this came out. This came out last month or a month and a half ago or something like that. I missed it. Single's called "Pushing Daisies," and it's a collaboration. So I'm also going to shout out another artist because I actually think you would like this artist and anyone who is like in the big like Taylor Swift, poppy, but like looking for some more maybe artists that you haven't discovered yet. So Suki Waterhouse and Ash.
I know who Ash is.
Okay.
Ash collaborates with Phineas a lot.
And Nile.
Oh, really?
Collab with Nile, one of her big songs.
That makes sense. There's similar energy. Okay, interesting.
So I would say check out "Pushing Daisies." It's a good track, and it just brought me back to Ash. I went through a big Ash phase.
Where do you have time to find all this music?
Also,
do you just go like on like the Spotify recommended like new artists?
I do all the different recommendations.
Oh, like
on
the
Spotify.
Fresh Friday, the new music.
DJ. I'll do the new music or Discover Weekly.
Top, whatever.
Oh, I'll do artist radio a lot of the time. So I'll put on Suki Waterhouse radio and then like other artists.
See, what I do is I skip songs I don't know. So then I never discovered.
Just don't skip. Don't skip.
Jacob, where's somewhere that you went this week?
Okay, this was a fun one. I went to the Canada versus Suriname soccer game at BMO Field. Yeah, there was it was a 2-leg home and away.
Okay.
And I went to the second leg, the home game.
I always forget you're a big soccer guy.
I'm a big soccer guy. And I didn't realize that this game was happening until like a few days before, but ended up being able to score good tickets. Here's the tip. I didn't know you could do this, but I'm like, that makes so much sense. We bought tickets. There were like 10 of us that bought tickets in like the cheapest tickets in the back corner. We never went to our seats once. We just went and stood in the standing room behind.
To the general admission area.
Yeah, like behind where the super fans are and stuff. So fun because then the vibe is like
you're
just
with everybody.
So high the entire
game. And then
game.
It's also nice because you're not like sitting and only talking to the people beside you. You're all standing.
Exactly.
You're just like hanging out.
Well, that's the thing. If you have a big group of people, we were there with 10 people. It's like I would only be talking to the person on my right, person on the left, and maybe yelling at one more person beyond that. This way, I got to hang out with everyone else.
Amazing.
Plus, then, like I said, be in the vibe of everyone else at the supporter section, which was so fun.
Amazing.
So again, I'm going to give a recommendation to go and check out those games as like one of the last Toronto-based or probably in your city affordable sports games, like big, crazy big sports games.
The NSL comes.
Yes, that's true.
The Northern Super League.
I still need to get a jersey.
Spring, I know you do. Spring of 2025.
Sarah, somewhere you went this week.
I went to a screening of Wicked. One, this is important for 2 reasons. One, I went by myself, which I don't go to things by myself a lot anymore. And it's rare without me it's rare that I don't know a single person at these things, but I literally did not know a single person. Not one. So I went to the Wicked screening and it was really cool because it was like interesting because it was like different brands that have collaborated with Wicked.
Okay.
So like every brand because every brand under the sun has collaborated with Wicked. Those were all the brands on display. And then like they were all had guests and then went to go see the movie. And I sat in my seat by myself and sobbed. It was so good. It was so magical. It was so good. And now I can't stop listening to the soundtrack, but it was so good. And I won like a bunch of bath bombs. It was so good.
Ooh.
It was a great night. It was a great Thursday night by myself, a little solo night, seeing Wicked and crying my eyes out.
It also is. I went and saw it the other night.
Oh, you did see it?
Yeah, I did see it. I've seen it.
We haven't talked about it yet.
I know. It is very
you loved
good.
It?
Yeah. Although,
so good.
This is my one gripe with Wicked. It's like, it's a, what do you call them? A prequel, right? Essentially a prequel to The Wizard of Oz. And I'm like, I understand there are redeeming qualities to every character, but I'm like, I know where you end up.
Okay, yeah, but have you seen the musical?
The musical?
Yeah.
No.
Okay, so no, you don't know where they all end up.
Oh, really?
You'll see.
Oh,
it's a prequel.
Does it change a little bit?
It's a prequel, but what people don't realize is the timelines catch up to each other, and the whole second half of Act 2 is actually
really?
in the same timeline as Dorothy.
Oh.
So it's not just a prequel.
What a happy surprise. Okay,
yeah.
I'll withhold my judgment then.
You can't think that you know where everyone ends up for sure. I mean, we all know where Nessa Rose ends up, but can't know for sure.
I will say that I am a huge Jeff Goldblum fan, and I'm just like,
who isn't?
What a dick, though.
I know, but like he plays it
so
so well.
Good,
He's so charming, though. He plays it so well. Okay, Jacob, what is something that you did this week?
This is a big one, Sarah. A lot of people wait until spring. I started my spring cleaning early. I started a big purge. You know me.
I could just call it like winter cleaning?
You could, but I'm getting ready for spring. So
that when spring cleaning comes, it's been cleaned.
Yeah, it'll come around to spring cleaning. It'll be like, oh, nothing to do. Just going to enjoy myself.
God, that's so funny.
I had been collecting chairs and all sorts of stuff under the guise that I was saving it for the cottage. The cottage is long since done now.
Yeah.
And I still have a bunch of stuff that I'm like, it doesn't really fit up there.
So if anyone's looking for a chair.
Honestly, if you're looking for chairs, project chairs, art, little knickknacks, I'm your guy. So I started the purge, and my apartment is now so messy. However, I'm trying to stay away from the stress because I'm like, this is on the way to being de-stress. But do you ever do that? Do you ever do a purge every now and then?
Yeah, I know
that you have like a ton of. Sarah famously has a PR room which is just full of stuff.
It's also a disaster again right now, so I need to clean that up before like Christmas and the holidays.
Any good stuff that
I have lots of good. I have lots of good stuff that you can have. What are you looking for? Actually, I'm going to give it away in my 12 days giveaways. That's the whole reason why we're doing that.
Okay, that's a good tease. We're going to talk about that in a second. But something you did this week, Sarah.
I put up my Christmas tree because the second that Taylor Swift left Toronto, it became Christmas time in my head. Like
I like that it wasn't Halloween for you. There's a holiday. There was a holiday in between.
It was Halloween, eras, then Christmas.
Okay,
so
that's
I
fun.
felt I didn't feel right putting up a Christmas tree while Taylor Swift was here. It just felt like that's her moment. Like this is her. This is like my holiday season.
It would
feel wrong,
rude to Taylor Swift to put up a Christmas
exactly.
tree.
So then I put my Christmas tree. I'm not even here for Christmas, but I just wanted the Christmas.
White lights or colored lights?
White.
White. I saw TikTok. This and I reposted it because I was like, I stand behind this. There was this guy and he walks in and the caption is me walking into a home and realizing that there are white Christmas lights. They're a white Christmas lights family, and they walk in. He walks in the front door and he walks out the back door.
Okay, that's a good thing. But I'm a colorful bulbs person. Like I'm not like like in the sense of like some people make like an aesthetic Christmas
like the
tree.
Decorations.
Yeah, like the bulbs and like the tree itself.
Okay.
So it looks very colorful.
I can accept that.
But
so you are in full Christmas mood now then.
Full Christmas mode, which speaking of, we're doing a 12 days of giveaways on Talking Fast and with me. So it's very exciting. We have lots of stuff to give away.
This has already kicked off earlier this week, Sarah.
Yeah, it did. So we're doing 12 days giveaways and we're giving away everything from like concert tickets to like a record player and everything comes with a Talking Fast exclusive tote bag.
Yes.
Because I've got a million of them sitting in my house and we're going to give them all to you guys because everyone's been asking for them to purchase, but instead it's got to be like you're part of the club. Like you like win your way to getting a Talking Fast tote.
And A&W here today for this episode, I know that one of the days that is actually has already launched when this episode is coming out,
if you've listened to this episode in the morning on your way to work, if you go to our Instagram right now, you will be able to see the contest and enter it for a dinner on us.
Yeah, because we're in here, we're getting inspired of what we want to order, so we want to pass it along to you.
We want everybody to try our A&W orders, which we'll talk about a little bit later in this episode.
Yeah, then we want to see them. We want to see the whole mukbang of the bacon and egger
exactly.
And all the coffee.
So go enter that. You also get a Talking Fast tote with it, but you get an A&W gift card. It'll be really fun. And with that, we'll have a guest on the other side and maybe some snacks and food. Our next guest is someone that I feel like has as chaotic as music taste as I do, in the sense of everything from like pop to country to like old, like, I don't know, like what would Mariana's Trench be, like a pop punk, like grungy,
a nostalgic touch.
So please welcome, you might know her from Concerts with Strangers, Sarah, to our A&W studio.
Welcome, Sarah.
Hello, thanks for having me.
Okay, so for those that don't know, how like I think most people would know you is through Concerts with Strangers. How did that start? Because for those that don't know, like Sarah just literally will post on TikTok and be like, I have an extra ticket to this show. Like, let me know why you want to go and I'll go to the concert with you. So how does that start? Because like obviously now you have a following from it, but how does that start when you have like no followers, no one really knows who you are, and you're just gonna like take people to a concert? How did that begin?
Complete fluke.
I love that.
Complete fluke. So I had just moved into the city and I bought tickets to see Morgan Wallen. The tickets were very expensive. He is one of my favorite country artists. And it was the day before my birthday is when the concert was going to be. So I'm like, I'm going to ball out. I'm buying floor tickets. So I bought 2 floor tickets. They were $450. My little sister was going to go with me and she ended up getting married and she's a wedding photographer. And the only time she could take off was the concert time. So like, oh my God, who is going to pay? None of my friends are going to pay $450 for a ticket.
Yeah.
But I had just moved into the city. I'm like, somebody will want it here, I'm sure. I'm like, social media is a cool place. Let's just see if somebody wants it on TikTok.
Yeah.
So originally I was thinking maybe somebody would want it and just like buy it off of me, but like we'd go together, but still they'd buy some of it. Yeah, pay for it, pay for some of it, whatever. So I put this video out, literally just saying, hey guys, I have an extra ticket. Who wants it? And 1,200 people commented saying that they wanted it. And it wasn't just the fact that 1,200 people had commented on it. It was 1,200 people commented on it saying my boyfriend had the tickets and like took them from me when we broke up.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was people who couldn't afford it.
Yeah.
All these different things, like people who hadn't been to a concert before. So I was just flooded with all these great reasons of why people couldn't go to this show. Well, bad reasons, I guess. But I was like, this is so unfortunate that people are missing out on live music, which in my opinion is one of the greatest things in the world.
Agreed.
So I was like, wait, can I like do something here? Like, I feel so bad that people are missing out on concerts. And I love concerts. Like I go to an insane amount of shows, which is definitely not the norm. But I was like, what can I do here? So I looked at shows that were coming up, and I believe the show that came up next was Luke Bryan. And I just did it again. I was like, let's
two tickets. Let's go.
I just bought 2 tickets. I bought 2 floor tickets, and I was like, let's just see. I'm like, I'm just going to throw a little bit of money at this and just see what happens. Cause like this could just be fun. Like what a cool way to watch people like.
So how did you pick who got to go?
So it's honestly all different reasons. Like I'll have people who, like the girl that I took to Morgan Wallen, it was the ex-boyfriend one where.
Wow. That's a good reason to go for sure.
Yeah. So he had tickets, they broke up, and then he took the tickets. The guy that I took to Luke Bryan, I can't remember 100%. I think that he said all of his friends bought tickets and didn't tell him. And by the time he went to buy a ticket, they were sold out. And they were on the lawn. So I was like,
okay, come on the floor with me.
Exactly. I'm like, oh, we'll show them.
Like, okay,
we'll show them.
We'll show them. Exactly.
Yeah. So,
oh
so that was that. And then it was funny because for him, and he was young. I think he was like 21 or something. And that was the first one because the Morgan Wallen ticket was a ticket for September, but I had posted it in like March or something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it was like a very down the line thing, but the Luke Bryan one was like a week out.
So that actually happened before you even did the Morgan Wallen one.
Yeah,
well in advance.
Yes. So I was like, I hope he shows up. I'm like, I hope he doesn't think I'm crazy. Like there's nothing to back me up or anything. And he came and it was totally fine. And I think now I've done like 33 of them.
Wait, so was that first one, was that nerve-wracking? Because I'm like, meeting a stranger for any reason can be nerve-wracking. But this is like, you don't want to get stood up, but also like, are they going to be cool?
Yeah. I mean, I think that's part of why I do, like why people send in the videos of why they want to go is because I can kind of do a vibe.
Them a little bit.
I can do a vibe
and
check.
I think at a concert too is like, you don't have to talk. Like you can just like stand there and listen to the music.
Well, I just mean sometimes you might get stuck with someone who is going to be like a big singer, but maybe is a little off key, you know? That would be my worst nightmare.
Listen, as long as they're having a good time, that's really all I care about.
So nice.
You have to start with like, obviously the early like investment to like buying all these tickets and everything, which is like crazy, but I love that it's like you had to bet on yourself. And now like it's great because you get to like work with all these different like, not studios. What's the word I'm looking for?
Labels, management agencies, etc.
So that's been like so cool. So has there been like really unique experiences that have come out of that too? Like, is there one that sticks out to you?
Yeah, I think getting to do like the really, really intimate shows at some of like the labels studios because they're so small. They're like not even 50 people in some cases. I feel so like, cool. And getting to meet like really cool artists like Riley Green. I got to watch and then got to bring somebody to meet him, which was really, really cool.
I was at that show. I got to bring my little sister who like is obsessed with him. And she was like, just so you know, because everyone was taking like photos with him. Like I want my own photo with her. I was like, okay, geez, I guess I'm getting a separate photo by myself. I was like, Jesus.
It is such a cool way though to experience music and bring people in that maybe like you're turning a lot of bad things sometimes, breakups, getting ghosted by your friends into a positive experience, especially now when concerts can be so expensive. There are so many things that kind of stand in the way of people getting to go and experience live music, which is tough because like you said, live music is like one of the best things about living in a big city, one of the best things about, you know, an activity you could do anywhere as long as there's a show to go and see. Is that part of the fun of it, is kind of getting to meet and experience live music with people who are maybe just as passionate about music as you are?
100%. I would much rather, it's so funny because I'd rather go to a concert with a complete stranger that I know loves the artist than bring one of my friends that's like, oh, I know a few songs.
Yeah. Oh, that's true.
Right? Because like they love it. Like they love it.
That's a good point. Yeah, because sometimes you get stuck on the lawn of a show and they're like 6 people and some people are like, oh, let's just go get drinks and just hang out at the back. Like, I want to sing along to these songs a little bit. Like, do you not know the lyrics?
What has been your favorite show you've been to of 2024? Because I feel like I see what shows all the time. And
well,
how many shows? I don't even go like half of what you do.
How many shows are you going? Did you go to this year?
Do you keep track? You have to keep track.
I don't know. I mean, I don't have a list or anything.
You should.
I know I should have a list. I could probably look back on like my Instagram stories. Like how many I've been to. It's a lot. I think at one point I did like 16 in a month.
Wow.
Oh my
I was gonna say like one a week, but that's a lot.
No, it was a lot. I was doing like 3 a week
but
at
when
one
it's
point.
Bud Stage like summer, like there was a week this year that I went to Bud Stage 5 times.
Yeah, you're going like 4 nights in a row.
Happens that way.
So yeah, to Sarah's question, I guess. Yeah, is there a standout favorite show of the year?
This is so tough
because they're
like all
3 if you. Like,
I was gonna say they're different, right? The one I was very pleasantly surprised by, who I'd never seen before, was Arkells.
Oh, you had never seen Arkells before?
I had never seen Arkells before, and I went to their show at Bud Stage, and I was like,
you got to collaborate with them a little bit too, right? Yeah, that's fun.
I did. I got to shoot some content with them, but I was shocked. I mean, I shouldn't say I was shocked, but I was just like, this is so good. And I just was not prepared for just like the vibe.
What stood out? Was it just like the performance of it, the showmanship?
All of it. And also just, I feel like how involved they get the crowd.
That's true.
Yeah.
Which is great. So they were up there. And then another one, which I saw last year, which I will always go back to, is Fall Out Boy.
Oh, okay.
Okay, that'd be a bucket list show for me,
I
maybe.
didn't see Fall Out Boy, and I was like, I had FOMO. That was one that I was like, ooh, that would have been a fun show.
Yeah.
They were really, really good. And I also, so my thing with shows is I like, if I'm going to pay a lot of money for a show, I want to pay for a production.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
You know,
true.
I want fire and I want lasers and
Big
I want
pyrotechnics,
I
like-
want a set.
I love that.
And they bring that. So I love that. And then the third, oh my gosh, this is tough. I feel like I can't not say Taylor because her show is insane.
We're going to talk about like production. It's like you get like a theatrical performance in it, which is the best.
But Sabrina Carpenter is kind of similar.
she was- I
with,
didn't
like
get to go to
she had a whole like production as well with a huge set. And then also I have to throw this one in there. It's the number 4, I guess number 5, Pitbull. I feel like everybody has to go see Pitbull.
Sarah dressed up. You're one of the people that dresses up as Pitbull.
I do.
Yeah, wait, I was
I do.
scrolling through TikTok. I was just looking at your videos, preparing, and I was like, you know how sometimes you're scrolling through someone's feed and then an ad comes up and it's something completely different. You're like, oh, let me get to the next video. I saw that and I was just like, oh, who is this one? I was like, scroll past. And then wait a second. I go back. I was like, that's you. You did the
Dressed
full
as
Pitbull bald look.
Oh my God. Was that show just like the energy insane?
Yeah, it's so good. I feel like Pitbull is a bucket list show for everybody. It should be. He just has so many hits, you know, and the vibes are so good.
I feel like that's like something you wouldn't. I feel like there's artists like you listen to, then there's artists like you go to a concert for. I feel like he's one that's like I don't listen to Pitbull on the regular, but it's like I went to the show. It's like you'd actually know every single word to everything.
You would 100%.
Okay, Sarah and I did this a couple of days ago, and I thought it was fun, maybe to bring back for you. If you were to, and you can choose one of the two to complete. So you can either do, you're creating a music festival, 3-day music festival, and you can choose a headliner for every day, or you can choose one day of the festival and have a headliner and 2 undercards that you would love to see on the same day. So either one you want to go with.
Ooh. Imagine it's like Concerts with Strangers, the festival.
Yeah.
And it's
you're
like so you can pick
booking it. Who's there?
Who's there? This gives us a taste of your music taste.
Okay, it's going to be Coldplay, Taylor Swift, and Morgan Wallen.
Oh, that's a big. Those are big headliners.
You didn't say there was a budget.
Yeah,
there's a budget on this festival.
I got to get myself in that Ticketmaster queue right now.
That actually might be the downfall of Ticketmaster. If that was.
Exists.
Also, it would just be so fascinating to see the people because like. That would fall into the category of the Venn diagram of all 3, which I think is more people than we'd expect.
Have you seen Coldplay?
Yes.
Okay. Are you going to the show this coming? Okay, I haven't seen them, and I'm going to. Yeah, it's my bucket list show for years and years and years. And now I'm excited to also see them at the new venue because I'm like, what's this going to be like up by Down Street, whatever they're building up there?
I'm quite literally the last row of the rafters in that venue. So we'll see if it holds up. If I'm falling off the grandstand or whatever it is, but we'll see. Well, I don't know because I'm literally the last row of this like pop-up venue. What are you talking about? If people start jumping up and down, it could collapse.
A little shaky.
I can't speak on the venue, but I can speak on the fact that there's no bad seat at a Coldplay show.
Okay, that's what everybody said because I want to see like the TikToks and stuff of like all the lights and all like the everything. So I was like, okay, I feel like that's part of the experience. It's like when you're like at a Taylor Swift show, like Eras Tour, like you're in the last row, but so you get to see everything on the stage or something. Is there? So speaking of bucket list shows, because that's Jacob's bucket list show that he hasn't been to. Is there a bucket list show that you haven't been to that you're like dying to go to, or an artist?
Ooh. It's a good question. I'm trying to think. I honestly feel like I've seen so many of them, but I'm just like, I don't know.
I feel like the past year has been like a really good concert.
If you were to revisit an artist that you saw this past year, other than say Arkells, who would you go back and want to watch again?
that's not my top 5.
Yeah. Like, were there any club shows that you saw, maybe a history or something like that was like mid-tier, that was like maybe a surprising act that you didn't think was going to be?
Oh, do you know who I would go see again? Actually, in the exact same place I saw it was Gracie Abrams in that little intimate show.
Show.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, because she performed at like Universal Music in like a little tiny,
right.
And that was right before her album came out. Yeah. So it was like she was performing songs that now are like massive TikTok viral.
Is that the little studio that they have the old Massey Hall seats on the ceiling?
Yeah.
Cool spot.
Yeah. So we're talking like 50 people, if that.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. That's a good one.
Those are always the coolest because it's like when you see an artist then like blow up. It was like I got to see Shawn Mendes last night at Massey Hall, and it was crazy because it's like the last time I saw him was Rogers Center, and I had the video from Rogers Center, and it was like 50,000 people versus 4,000 in like this tiny. I don't even think Massey's 4, but like however many it is, it's like the comparison is crazy.
Do you have any concerts with strangers coming up that people can keep their eyes peeled for if they want to get excited to potentially go to a show?
When is this coming out?
This is coming out next Wednesday, the 4th.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm like, I think I might do Mariana's Trench, but that's this weekend. So no.
Okay, but they have to follow you to keep an eye out for it.
Yes. If they want to not miss out.
What we're gonna do on the other side of this little break is I'm a big I want to talk pre-concert rituals. I want to talk do you listen, set list, all that. But a big pre-concert ritual for me is making sure I eat a lot of food, specifically A&W. So we're gonna bring in some food after this, and then we'll talk concert rituals.
Okay.
I'm excited.
We are back and we have food, thank God, because I've been smelling it while we've been sitting here.
Sarah, I am hungry.
So we're gonna go over our orders here, but for context, I order A&W before every concert. If you watched my Eras Tour prep vlog, I ordered everyone A&W because I feel like one of my favorite parts about getting ready for a concert, I don't know about you, is actually one of my favorite parts about a concert in general is getting ready for a concert. I just love the whole process of it, and I love having my food with me and doing my makeup and all of that. So it just feels like it fits perfectly.
I'm kind of the opposite because I genuinely, after a show, especially in the East End, there's a A&W kind of on my way home. I'll go a little bit out of the way, but for me, it's more post-show. But same.
And so now we have our mugs. Cheers, everyone.
Cheers.
Cheers.
What do we all have? We have different...
I have an iced tea because I don't like root beer.
I'm going classic root beer because I'm a huge root beer fan, and you can't do any better than A&W.
And OJ.
Sarah, what do you have there?
I have chicken strips, the best.
Okay, do a bite and then ASMR. Honestly, I will say one of the best sized chicken strips out there for sure.
The width? Look at these.
Yeah. It's a satisfying bite for sure.
Sarah, take us through your order. What do you got?
Well, it's breakfast time, even though I get this honestly all day, no matter the time. It's a bacon and egger, and then also hash brown and orange juice and a tea. But if it was later on, I would be getting a spicy habanero chicken sandwich, no tomato, extra lettuce, and fries. Yeah.
Extra lettuce. I feel like, I would go the opposite. I'll leave both on there, but I'll go extra tomato. That's my...
I'm like, I want to pipe in, but I'm I love how specific your order is. It means you're a real one, and you come regularly.
Yeah. I do. I'm going teen burger myself. I'm a teen burger kind of guy, and then somehow I've ended up with both fries and onion rings in front of me. But you can't be mad at that.
I do that all the time, though. I'll order the combo, and then I'll order a side of onion rings.
Okay, this is what I was gonna say about a combo. What's the star of the combo? For me, it is the side. Yeah, it's having that little bite. You go one of these bites, you go one of those bites.
You go back and
forth.
No,
so I don't do that. I don't do that, no.
Really?
Do you eat main first or side first? I eat side first.
Side first, because the main for me is better personally.
You go
and
side
I want to finish.
First?
Yeah, because...
But you finish it.
No, because this is what happens. If I eat my main first, I don't always have room for my side. But I don't know how this math works. But if I eat my side first, I always have room for my main.
True.
No,
I feel you.
No, it's math.
Yeah.
It's math.
It's girl math.
A&W girl math.
Yeah. No, it's so true.
Please comment or let us know if you eat side first or main first, or if you're crazy like Jacob and mix it all up and go back and forth.
I feel like I'm gonna win that one. I feel like that is the most normal thing to do.
No,
I gotta go a 2-hand bite here. So you gotta ask another question.
Okay, so what is your pre-concert ritual? Do you have one?
It's food for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. I've done the no food thing and it has not fared well.
And back to bite you.
Yeah, it does. Either A, I'm super tired and have no energy, or B, I have to leave during the show to go get food. I don't want to do that.
No, you want a full stomach before any concert. And then also pre-concert rituals. I want to know, because you go to so many shows, help us settle the debate. Do you look up the set list before you go?
Yes.
Same.
Yes.
And I have friends that are so... Sorry, this is like where mukbang is hilarious because it's just like Jacob mowing down while we're talking.
No, continue, please.
No, continue. Okay, so yes to set list. I'm also a yes to a set list person because I like, if it's an artist that I don't listen to their music to or don't know every single word to every song, I like to know the set list ahead of time so I can make sure I know all the words and like listen to it. And then 2, I like to know where we're at in the show.
Yes, I agree. But I will say the only time I don't look at a set list is if I am super, super well versed in that artist.
Same. Like if it's someone that I like will know every single song regardless, then I don't bother.
Yes.
You want to be surprised?
I want to be surprised.
Are you a singer during, well, you talked about this a little bit in the last segment, but do you sing during the show?
Yes.
I like scream. I don't know if like singing's the way that I would call it.
But then the follow-up question then, if you're taking, say, clips for social media, do you have like a section where you like, okay, hit record, stop singing. It's like 30 seconds of recording. As soon as you hit the record button again, it's like,
Yep. 110%. 110%.
I give myself until the first chorus, and the first chorus, then phone goes away, and then I can scream and sing and stuff.
Do you police your friends though? Because there's nothing, if they're standing beside you, if you stop singing, but your friend beside you is gonna, keep belting, sometimes you can put them on blast on your Instagram story.
Like, Eras Tour, I wasn't going to tell anyone to stop singing. Like half my videos were my friend Regan like screaming beside, which I'm never going to tell her to stop. So it's like that I can live. Like that's fine.
Is she a good singer though?
No, we're screams. There's a difference between singing and screaming.
Okay,
though,
you're
right?
right.
Like I'm not trying to actually sing along. Like I hate when people do that.
Actually, that's worse. You're right. Scream singing is better than someone who's like, maybe I'll get discovered here today.
Yeah. Maybe. Okay, because so I have friends that are hardcore no set list people, though, and they get really mad because, I don't want to know. I don't want to know. But it's like, I like it because I like to know the expectation. Example, I went to go see, like, Noel Gallagher's High Flying Birds, right?
Yeah.
That's Noel. Mm-hmm. And obviously, as an Oasis fan, I was like, I need to know if he actually plays any Oasis, or it's like, why am I going to this show? Yeah. And luckily, the whole back half of the catalog was Oasis, and like he played one of my favorite songs. I want to know ahead of time, so I wouldn't be disappointed, because I actually think what happens a lot of time when you don't look at the set list is you're disappointed. Set your expectations from the beginning, and then you're good.
And the other benefit, I think, to the set list, at least a peek at the set list, if there are a couple songs that you're like, I could take or leave that one.
Bathroom break,
grab a drink break, something like that. You can be a little strategic about the planning in that sense, which is where I'll go and check it out. Plus, sometimes it's fun if you check out a set list. Like the Killers had 2 completely different shows at Bud this summer, where Sarah, you went the first. Well, you went both nights. But I remember you I think we recorded an episode of the show after or before the second night that I was going to.
Because I told you make sure you get there for like the opening song, because they sometimes start with Mr. Brightside.
Yeah, and they did, and the set list was completely different. And I was like, oh, this is a little exciting because you don't know what's going to come next. They ended with
Mr. Brightside the night before, and they opened the show with it the next night. So I like that one. It's like they play all the same songs, but in like different order, and they sometimes switch out a couple, but they play it in different order. But I feel like set list sets your expectations for like a good night.
Do you know why else I like to look at the set list though during the show? This is such a silly reason. I like to look near the end of the show when we're hitting like the 11 p.m. mark, and I'm like, is this artist gonna get fined for going past? I'm just like, how many minutes?
Fine, an alarming amount of concerts.
Yeah,
and it's a high fine too. You're like, oh, you're losing some money
I'm like,
here.
There's 5 songs. Oof, that's gonna cost you.
But it's also you start to respect them more too, because it's like, oh, you want to be here $60,000 worth?
No, because are you scarred from Jonas Brothers? Because that's what I was scarred from. I went to both nights of Jonas Brothers. It's 2019.
Yeah.
And one night they didn't play
Burning Up
because they were about to hit the fine because they went on stage too late, and they just ended the concert.
Joe Bros cannot not play Burning Up.
So the next night they started the concert earlier, so they didn't. But yeah, they didn't want to pay the fine. So as people that know that there's a fine, I'm like, you cowards! You sold out this arena, and you just don't want to pay the like $10,000 for going like 2 minutes over playing this song. It was crazy.
Oh, that's
so. It was like everyone was so mad if they went to the first night they didn't hear Burnin' Up the second night they played it.
I thought it was a pyro issue of why they didn't play it.
But
they were literally burning up.
It might have been, but like a lot of people were like, they just didn't want to pay the fine. But because they started the show earlier that night, the next night too.
That makes sense.
And I always think about the fine. Oh wait, that makes me so happy. I'm not the only one. I think about the bylaws all the time.
All the time.
How much did Taylor Swift pay in bylaw? Like
she went over
every night.
I think it's like $10,000 a minute.
Oh.
And her show went to like almost like what 11:15, 11:20.
Yeah, I think 11:20.
So you're like automatically paying
a lot of money.
Got to open up a couple of those behind the stage sections for that.
to be able to do it.
Well, Vancouver did that. I was going to say they're selling the $16 no view tickets, which is so crazy.
I know, which just makes sense though. People watch a live stream, like they're going to watch a
100%. Just to be there.
Is there any shows that you're looking forward to? Tell us what you're looking forward to in 2025 for shows coming to Toronto.
Ooh, Coldplay for sure is number one. Post Malone.
Did you get tickets?
Post Malone.
These tickets are so expensive.
So is Tate McRae, which killed my soul. When I went on to buy them, they were $577. I was like, oh gosh.
I've been trying to manifest for this podcast. We're gonna do an interview with Tate McRae at the show.
Oh,
there's absolutely no leads for this yet.
That's fine. You've got time.
Is Tate McRae about to become an A&W person?
Yeah, you know what? She probably already is, but if she isn't, she will be.
We could do it. Tate, come to our studio.
Come eat A&W.
Thank you so much for sitting and chatting and talking all things concerts with us.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Our little studio. I'm going to let you eat your food, though. So thank you guys so much for watching or listening to this episode of Talking Fast. As a reminder, we're doing 12 days giveaways. And today, you can win dinner, lunch, breakfast on us with A&W. So go enter that on Instagram. I've been Sarah. That's been Sarah. That's been Jacob. And we'll see you next time. Bye.